Okay, so another day, another series, and I have got a super sick series for you for this Friday. Most of you are going to absolutely love this because it's literally Alter Bridge, Tremonti, and Shinedown, which I'm pretty sure all of you are going to absolutely enjoy this. It is yet another Sammy series. This one's called Twisted Riff Revolution. This is a tongue twister, actually. When we last spoke, we said this was a tongue twister. Twisted Riff Revolution. That's what the series is actually called, and it's Sammy's Series 9, and we're not done with Series 9. Trust me, there's still a lot more coming from where this came from. But yeah, man, let's get straight into it before I even start. Guys, I'm running a mini-series special for December from the 1st to 25th. It's 25 days, which means there's 25 slots, and I'm doing a series per day. It's a mini-series, so there's 5 reactions and for $35. So it's a $5.35 series. So 5 reactions, $35, and it's exactly in this format. You get your artwork and all that kind of art, but it's a mini series, and it'll be a series dropped every single day for 25 days. So kind of like an advent calendar type thing, but it's more like a music calendar type thing, and it's all your series, all your small series. So still a lot of slots open. I think I've got like 6 slots that are booked already, and I think there's 19 slots open. So for anybody who wants to go and book that, I'm leaving the link down in the pinned comment. Alter Bridge, Indoctrination, man. I cannot believe we still have more Alter Bridge that we haven't heard. But let's rock and roll, man. Let's see what we got. Let's go. The dark sound of this, it's very cool. I also like the fact it's like I'll take you in and make you mine. So obviously it speaks to indoctrination. I think this whole song, also the fact that this song is dark is kind of looking at it as like a negative thing in terms of how society indoctrinates people into a certain way of thinking, which forces them to give up who they are as, you know, their individuality. They give up their individuality to a certain extent to follow a particular sort of approved norm, essentially. So I think that's where they're going with it. I mean, I've got a bit more to say about that, but let's just carry on. I like the heaviness of this actually. It suits the whole vibe. I'm in your head, you can't deny it. You're hanging on my every word. But now I got you under my spell. Actually, I like the way they're actually doing it. It's almost as if they're giving the actual word indoctrination a life, right? So it's almost as if like indoctrination is an actual person. So like I'm in your head, right, and you hanging on my every word. It's almost like we're under the spell of this superior power, which is indoctrination. It's seduced, you're right where you belong. indoctrination is a very interesting concept because, when people actually talk about it, people just throw words out today, without actually even taking any note of their actual meaning, essentially. So yes, indoctrination is literally to try and get society to conform to a specific type of idea. And forceful or not forceful, but in a certain way it can be pushed. So if you're going more into like a authoritarian or a totalitarian sort of a society, it'll be forcefully pushed on you in a specific indoctrination, or like a fascist or despotic type of society that'll get forced on you. But then there's also the free society type of indoctrination where it's not forced on you, but it is filtered through specific institutions to get you to think in a particular way. A lot of people will look at this in terms of like religious institutions, in terms of indoctrinating people into religious ideology, which is as old as time, right? And that was literally just seen as like religious learnings. But today in our more secular society, they kind of look at that as if it is a bad thing, as if it's a negative thing to sort of be indoctrinated into religion. But now, at least there's a basis for good with regards to certain indoctrination. And that's the one thing, is you're going to be indoctrinated somehow, right? You need to get your worldview and you need to negotiate your personality and who you are as a person from a child from something. So you're going to negotiate it through your environment, through your parents, ideologies and your parents' sort of worldview. And then you'll build upon that as you get older, and as you open up your mind, you might look at things a little bit differently and you might go different ways, essentially. Now, is what everything is being taught to us from young, is that just indoctrination? It can be called indoctrination because it's like a set specific idea that maybe you don't agree with it, but you don't have the mental capacity to argue that at a young age, and you don't know what's right from wrong, so you literally just take what's given. And that's why there are particular types of indoctrination, and then which are good, and particular types of indoctrination which are bad, right? And we know the good and the bad. We know the differences between good and bad, right? And we know because we've seen it in history what bad indoctrination does in terms of hating a particular a group of people, or hating a minority of people and wanting to eradicate a minority of people, or having a specific political ideology like fascism, like Mussolini espoused. We know what is good and bad. We've seen this play out in history, right? And to come to a time and a day and age like in 2023, when we can look at the different types of ideologies and indoctrinations, and we can see the ones that are malevolent, we can see the ones that are masquerading as good, right? And want so desperately to be pushed to the forefront as the prevailing sort of narrative, the prevailing ideology for children and for young society, that holds no benefits to them. It's just going to confuse them. It's just going to destroy their life, essentially, because it's malevolent. Just purely by the people that are purporting it, where it's coming from at the end of the day. So look, people get indoctrinated, right? But there is good indoctrination and there is bad indoctrination, right? And the crazy thing today is that, you've got the majority of people that actually are so against the colonial world of the past, which was horrific, which was absolutely terrible, right? But the way they see it, more the liberal types will be the way they see it, the liberal progressive types, not that there's a problem with liberal progressives, but the radical liberal progressives, the way they see it is that colonization was bad because it walked into people's land and they destroyed their cultures, and they sort of permeated their own sort of Western worldview on them, and that was bad. Colonialism is bad, right? Which is 100% correct. I agree with you. That was a terrible thing to do, right? To actually try and erase somebody else's idea, to try and erase somebody else's diversity of thought, right? And to erase their identity physically and in terms of the space that they live in, to try and erase that. But the same people who purport that are doing the exact same thing ideologically. They're going into other people's spaces and other people's part of the world who do not think like them, and they say, no, you need to think like this. This is the right way of thinking. And people are like, well, no, we don't think like you do in the West. We don't hold by those sort of set of values. And then all of a sudden, all of a sudden, the people that are not promoting bigotry become the bigots. The ones that are calling other people bigots become the bigots and say, no, this is the ideology. This is the universal ideology that needs to permeate throughout the world. That is ideological colonialism. That is the very definition of indoctrination and forced doctrination, right? That is the very definition of that, right? So it's in society, we've got to be very careful with this sort of ideology of tolerance. And at what point does your tolerance actually become intolerant for people who don't think like you? And since when do you, who calls others sort of fascists or things like that, become the fascist? Do you know what I mean? Where do we draw that line? Because it's getting there, right? And there is massive indoctrination that's going on around the world today, and it's for no one's benefit. It's not doing anybody any good, right? Because it's all radically driven. You know what I mean? It's not coming from a moderate standpoint. You know, it's coming from the extremes, right? And anything that we do where we operate on the extremes, right, is going to be completely detrimental to our society, whether it's left or right. If we're operating in the extremes and we try to indoctrinate people, right, through your extremist lens, then we're in for a societal collapse, which we are, sort of very well headed towards anyway. So anyway, carrying on. That should be a theme song for like the George Orwell book 1984, because it kind of almost fits perfectly, or the movie itself. I mean, I've read the book, I haven't watched the movie, but it could be for the actual movie itself. The actual soundtrack for the movie itself, I think would be absolutely awesome. So, yep, indoctrination is absolutely 100% everywhere. You're going to be indoctrinated into something. You just need to ask yourself one question: is the indoctrination that you underwent, was it beneficial to your life, or was it destructive to your life, right? Or is the indoctrination that's trying to be pushed on you now, is it beneficial to your life, or is it destructive to your life, right? Either way, you're going to be indoctrinated into something, because we all are. Anyway, I love you all. Please stay safe, please stay healthy. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace!